Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. That's Emory Huntazar, the playbook, and I'm Tyler Mirkovich, bringing you Week 10 preview of the NFL season. We have Baltimore at Cleveland. Believe it or not, it's our Monday Night Football game of the week. Ravens coming off a disappointing loss in Cincinnati. They lost 2 this year to the Bengals. And for Cleveland, they're coming off a bye week, only 1 win on the season. A lot of injuries taking toll on this team. But what are your keys to victory for the Ravens, who, you told me off camera, need to give Ray Rice the rock more than 12 times as a rusher? What are your keys to victory for John Harbaugh?
Keys to victory for the Ravens in that defense. Number one, they can't let Jamal Lewis, who is a future Hall of Famer, get his running game going with the Browns. They have to really shut down the run, and you effectively shut down the rest of that Cleveland Browns offense. So don't let Jamal Lewis get off to a good start against his former team. That's number one. 2, special teams play has to be huge. Cleveland has a terrific special teams player in Joshua Cribbs. They have to make sure he doesn't get those returns. They have to make sure he doesn't make those big plays in punt return or kickoff return. That has to be huge. 3rd, offensively, you look at that passing game, the Browns struggle in that secondary. Flacco should have a phenomenal day throwing the football. Spreading the ball around to those different receivers. The other 2 guys have to step up, Washington as well as Clayton. You know Mason is going to be there. You know at the tight end spot, he's going to be there. Todd Heap is going to be there. So they can have some success throwing the football against this Browns secondary. So they're going to work that passing game. And lastly, don't forget about Ray Rice.
Absolutely. And for Cleveland, what keeps them in games? Sometimes they play defense, not really. Their offense is porous, but it's special teams. You mentioned Josh Cribbs. Zastidle is a great punter, and they have guys who make plays, such as Blake Costanza, who will be getting time at linebacker now because they're banged up. This guy's a hustler, and he will be making plays. He needs to step up for Cleveland because they need to play defense. That could keep them in ball games. That could surprise people, especially on the Monday night primetime game. What are your keys to victory for the Browns?
Keys to victory for the Browns, you have to do something to balance a game out. And the way you balance a game out when you're playing a tough defense is you have to run the football. It sounds like a broken record. It sounds like everybody says that, but that is a key element. Football is an easy game. You play good defense, you run the ball, you win. Yeah, so they have to get the Jamal Lewis going in that running game this week. Make it a force. Jamal Lewis, 30 carries. He's gonna have to get that fountain of youth this week against this Ravens defense. 2nd, Anderson is gonna have to make some plays vertically. If you can pick on the Ravens, it really is in that secondary. So Anderson and those receivers, Massaquoi and company, are gonna have to make some plays vertically. They're gonna have to catch the football to back the Ravens off a little bit, because otherwise it's gonna be, all day in the backfield for the Ravens. 3rd, Cribbs, you have to make a big play. The offense needs it. The offense pretty much is counting on it every week for you to make a big play in the special teams game, as well as like the trickeration that they like to use, that wild brown, whatever they call their wildcat situation, the wild dog situation, whatever they call it. They have to make some plays with Cribbs back there and play with some pride, Cleveland. I think the Browns will lose this game, but I think they will show more toughness. They do play tough. They do play with some pride, but Baltimore is too strong right now.
Well, Baltimore's defense is not the same without Rex Ryan, without that scheme. You know what they've had in the past, but the Browns' offense, can they generate any against Baltimore? That could be a problem, but like I said before, special teams and defense could keep them in it, especially on prime time. A lot of people are going to be thinking this is a blowout. Don't be surprised if Cleveland hangs close, though. I like Baltimore rather close here. For more, visit footballgameplan.com/NFL.